What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rant, no hate. Now, as we know, unless something comes up, we will have Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for undisputed. And the question that I had for people, it was really for me, it's not a hard decision to make. That question is, but I'm going to give you my take and I want you guys' take as well. The question is, who does heavyweight boxing benefit more from to win this fight? Alexander Usyk or Tyson Fury? We always talk about, this fighter versus that fighter, and based on coming from a boxing fan perspective, okay, we are focused on the fights we want to see. Now, we understand politics, business, and the other BS that prevents fights from happening so many times. But it's not to be justified. So we know that a lot of times the fighters want to fight, but somebody in boxing, some powers that be are going, nope. A lot of times the management team, off camera is telling these guys, you don't need this fight. Let this fight build, or hey, stay away from this guy right now. Let him soften up. What these things happen, okay? Fighters a lot of times don't want to fight certain guys. They can talk all the nonsense they want, but a lot of times they don't want to fight certain guys. And the so-called fans are selective with who they think is guilty of that. And a lot of times it's just clear to see in these people, like these different fighters, like what they're doing. You can see in their behaviors, the things that they say, the things that they do. But if you like that fighter, let's become Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles all of a sudden. No, we don't see anything. But we're no longer blind when it comes to other fighters. Now, let me give you my take on this question. I say the heavyweight division flourishes way more if Usyk wins, as opposed to Fury winning. Why? Usyk has never been known to duck any challenger. I don't see Usyk as a guy that's motivated by the money. Now, people can change. But I feel like Usyk's the type of guy that, hey, the money's going to come. But I want the challenge. I want to fight these different guys. And I feel like for you as the heavyweight champion, you should move differently than everyone else. A challenger is coming to take your title. Within that fight, they need to prove that I'm better than the champion. I'm coming to win. Not let me sit back and fold my fingers, let the entire top 10 eliminate each other, and I just pick and choose at who's left. And the only time I fight is after everybody else destroys each other, and then I just get the scraps. And okay, no, a champion should move far differently. I don't see Usyk going back to cruiserweight. If he was, okay, I beat AJ, I beat Fury, okay, I never fought Wilder, I'll fight him. If Wilder can get his winning ways back, I never fought Joseph Parker, or whatever. Just say, I never fought a Frank Sanchez. This is what, when you sit back and look, I have my millions stacked up, but also my legacy is cemented. I'm satisfied with my career. And I fought the top guys. You understand? As opposed to Tyson Fury. I don't see how the heavyweight division flourishes when you have a champion that don't want to fight. And when he does fight, it's I pick and choose who I want. I'm the A side out of all these guys. I'm protected. I'm shielded. You see, he's had that WBC belt for some time now, and he's never had an actual mandatory. You see, he's okay with that. He's clearly okay with that. He's already stated if he beats Usyk, he's not going to fight AJ. And as I said before, for him to state Usyk beat AJ twice and I beat Wilder twice, okay, what in the hell does that have to do with him fighting AJ? Just because Usyk won. Even if he was to beat Usyk, that doesn't mean that he beats AJ. How do we know that AJ right now won't beat Usyk in the rematch? At this AJ that we've just seen, how do we know that? Right? So everything is a fight-by-fight basis. AJ needs to go in there and take care of Ngannou. That's who he has in front of him. So he get past Ngannou, okay, it's all green lights. And it just comes down to Tyson Fury versus Usyk, rematch clause being implemented, because guess what? Regardless to who wins, that person, we already know, will be stripped of the IBF if they don't fight. You know, if they don't fight that mandatory. So for that to be the case, Tyson Fury will have no problem not fighting AJ. He will have no problem not fighting a Frank Sanchez. He'll have no problem not fighting the very top guys. And in fact, he's one of those guys that has a belt and says things like, these guys have to prove that they belong in here with me, then take a lesser fighter. You know, one of the things that I look at and I have the understanding, okay, for sure, is when you become complacent with a particular position and the people around you cushion you and you focus on your fans that praise everything you do, you can become delusional. You can become detached from reality, and you're thinking that, you know, hey, I got everything sold up. They all see who I am. It's like I said, I compared it to when, you know, if you do music and every time you perform, you know, you're in front of your family and all your friends, so you have a nice big section of the building cheering for you. And then you go on the road and you don't know anybody, and all of a sudden the crowd is not nearly as live as they were when you had your people there. And that was a different feeling, because it's like, damn, did I suck, or is it just because they don't know me yet, or what is it? I didn't get the crowd on their feet and loud like I normally do, because you're overlooking the reality. That's your people out there in the crowd at those other shows. These people on the road don't know you. So you can't just be complacent with, oh, all I got to do is get on stage because they're going to cheer for me because that's my people. No, you have to entertain now. You have to give them a reason to, you understand? So that being said, I say that the division flourishes with Usyk. Unless Usyk changes and start doing the same things and focus on just the money alone, I don't see anything happening exciting in the heavyweight division if Fury was to win. Now the thing is, may the best man win. So if Fury wins, then he wins. But I mean, his antics after that goes back to the same thing. And if you think about it, for him to try to hold like a gun to people's head and say, hey man, take it or leave it, or no fight. You understand? I'm gonna pull a trigger on the fight itself if you don't take my crummy offers, right? And remember, when he said Usyk wasn't a smart man, I gave you a shitty offer and you took it. You're a stupid little man. What is that clearly telling you? I really don't want to fight you. I gave you an offer expecting you to say, man, I'm not taking this nonsense, but you took it anyway. You're a stupid little man. Okay. Is that not admitting I gave you a shitty offer? Yes, that came out of his mouth. It came out of his mouth. So all of the antics of you have 12 hours to sign or no fight. You have 24 hours to sign or no fight, or all this nonsense. You know, we don't need anything like that holding the title. And I believe that Fury may also, because you think about it, what other super fight is out there for Fury? None. just AJ. We already seen what he did with Wilder. He already disposed of Dillian White, and Dillian White basically been looking shaky for even before he got to Fury. You know, so in terms of the type of money he would want, who else is out there? Just Anthony Joshua. Now, in terms of competition and someone that can get there and pull a win off against him, even though most of the fans will say he wouldn't, you got let me tell you, you got a Frank Sanchez out there, and I don't know why people keep speaking about Fury like Fury has all these different. No, Fury doesn't have all these different styles like you say. There's no way. I don't care. Let me tell you something. I don't give a damn about the size of Francis Ngannou's neck and he's a big, strong. I don't care nothing. That guy is green. Okay, he's green as a goddamn avocado. Francis Ngannou should not have given Fury all those problems. If Fury is as good as people said, this guy would have been able to go in there and just off experience alone punish Francis Ngannou. I don't want to hear that shit about Francis Ngannou's a very fast learner and Mike Tyson showed him and Dewey Cooper, they gave him an excellent, yeah. He did his part. But again, Fury's overhyped. That being said, if Fury was suing and he didn't retire, could you imagine how outrageous his demands would be just to get a fight? Fury might as well come on his face and say, listen, here is my deal to you. Yo, Dasa, I am giving you $1 and $1 only. Take it. I could say 99 cents, but I'm giving you $1 for the whole fight. Take it or leave it. You're not on my level. You're not as popular as me. I'm the face of heavyweight boxing. I would not even be shocked if he actually did that. Fury would be even more difficult to get into a fight if he became undisputed. So I believe if he becomes undisputed, he'll probably retire. Or even drop the belts and maybe just hold the WBC. Because Mauricio is going to cushion and baby him. Usyk, on the other hand, has said he's not going anywhere. Meaning, after this fight with Fury, win, lose, or draw, he's not going anywhere. So if he is to win, then there's fights that we haven't seen him have that we will more likely get to see because he wants to continue to fight. But when a guy like Fury already makes his mind up that he doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua, then who else do you want to see Fury fight? Why would you waste your money and purchase a ticket or purchase a pay-per-view? And if you have the lame answer of, well, I just wanted to see such and such because he's on that card too. Okay, but you are still supporting the main event. Okay? And the fighter of a main event being a guy who does not care about you spending your hard-earned money. Let's just be real. And that's what it comes down to. So I think that and you got to understand, Usyk doesn't have that witness protection program Fury does. So for Usyk, I feel like the division flurries because you'll get fights that you haven't seen yet. With the exception of Fury, Usyk may be having to fight a mandatory who there may be other guys you want to see him fight over with, but I will never fault a guy for fighting his mandatories. Fight your mandatories. No need to sacrifice your belt just for the sake of making a particular fight happen. No, fight your mandatories. So I get that, and I agree with that. That's why I bring up the fact that Fury's never had a mandatory. And that's why I said if he was to win, he'll probably let all the other belts go. And maybe not even right away. Let's see what deal we can work out. My whole point is with Fury, unless you're fighting Anthony Joshua, I don't care to see you fight anybody else. Bottom line. There's nobody else. He's already said out of his own mouth, after he beats Ngannou, he's done with boxing because there's nothing else left for him to do. He's done everything. He beats Usyk, more than likely he retires. But he might try to hold on to see what kind of enormous payday can I get now. But against who? Whereas with Usyk can't rule out fighting Anthony Joshua if he wins. And AJ's in that position that he can't rule it out. And I don't think Usyk would try to dodge AJ. I think he'd take the challenge. I think he'd fight a Frank Sanchez or Efe Ajagba, or Jared Anderson. I think that Usyk would take those fights if he had to fight those guys. Now, of course, Efe, in terms of namesake, not that popular yet, but people know who he is. If you've been watching heavyweight boxing and following, you know who Efe is. You know who Jared Anderson is, and you know who Frank Sanchez is. Now, in terms of being popular with the masses, just overall in boxing, no. Those names are not as popular, no. But in terms of the challenge being there, I believe strongly that Usyk would take those fights. Whereas Fury's not going to fight those guys. And, let me make this clear, too, because someone, to get off topic for a second, but I just want to address this and make this clear. Someone in the comment section, they said that they think that, well, they said, I think I'm going to be in the minority on this, but I believe that Derek Chisora gives Deontay Wilder problems because I said I believe Wilder is going to try to go after Manuel Charr to get that belt. That means nothing, but, they'll make a story out of it with Wilder, and it'll be talked about more if Wilder is holding his belt than the current guy, which is Manuel Charr. And I said, if one fight is all it needs to get him back on the Saudi card, well, I believe that what they would do is try to say, hey, how about Wilder versus Derek Chisora? That'll get him back on the Saudi card. Okay, Derek's not going to come to America to fight Deontay Wilder. Derek Chisora himself has said that Las Vegas is dead. There's nothing going on in America in terms of big time boxing. You think Derek's going to come over here? No. You think that either one of them are going to make the kind of money fighting here that they would in Saudi to fight each other? No. So my response to that is, that's cool. You're entitled to your opinion. And listen, it's not hard to give Wilder problems. At this stage in Derek Chisora's career, the bottom line is, even if he gave him problems, Derek Chisora is too easy to hit. And Derek Chisora is much easier to beat and deal with than the rest of these top guys. So it still would be a cherry pick for a reason. Derek Chisora is a walking punching bag at this point in his career. He's slowed down on his feet, his hands are slowed down, and he's just there to be hit. The type of clean shots that Wilder would want to land on him would be so much easier to land because Derek Chisora is far removed from his prime. Why do you think Wilder never fought him during his prime? At no point ever brought Derek Chisora's name up. So it's not hard to outbox on Wilder. It's not hard to give him problems. But again, it's like, I want to take the lesser of these guys. So Derek Chisora is more known right now than several fighters that he wouldn't beat in the fight. So So let's pick Derek Chisora to get on there. And again, like I told you guys, if you remember, it was supposed to be Derek Chisora versus, Big Pharmacy, Big Car Dealership Miller. And Derek turned that down. He never specified if it was the money. He didn't feel like the money was good enough or whatever. I don't know. But he turned it down, and they put Daniel Dubois in there with Miller. So, and that's what I mean, guys. And you got to also understand the point. Wilder's situation is, Wilder doesn't want 4 or 5 fights. Wilder said he wants to fight until he's 40 at one point. Now, if he's changed his mind, don't know, don't care, but I don't really think so. And I'll tell you why 4 fights is far-fetched. If you want 4 fights, then that means within a year's time, you want to try to get at least 3 in. At least. Wilder's doing all his training now, right? And for who? They've named no opponents. They've named no target opponents. So who are you doing all this training for, right? That being said, let's not put our foot in our mouth and say too much, and then the fight comes and we're not ready, right? We want to be able to pick who we want. And if it's a demand for us, people want to see us back in the ring. It doesn't matter who we pick. People are going to look at it like it's a tune-up. But yet, if it's Manuel Char, how is it a tune-up? He has a belt. Again, just like Trevor Bryant having a belt. And if it wasn't Bryant, it would have been Stavern, because that's what they put him in there with, just to fatten him up for someone bigger and better, which was Daniel Dubois, and he came in and destroyed Trevor Bryant. So yeah, just because you hold that belt, come on. And that's and this is the point of what I'm saying. You know, let me pick the lesser of opponents. And it's no different from him, you know, Luis Ortiz being called the boogeyman by who? Wilder and his team. Who the hell was calling Luis Ortiz some damn boogeyman? That phrase in his regard came strictly from Team Wilder. And that's all that was. So pretty much outside of fighting Wilder, nobody ever really cared about who Ortiz fought or whatever he did, because he's never done anything. And this is why, if Ortiz would have beaten Andy Ruiz, we'd have already gotten Wilder versus Ortiz. So he's strategically trying to limit who he fights and look at who he feels more comfortable fighting, and the risk involved. So for him to fight 4 times at this pace, and he already hasn't named an opponent. Wilder's 38. He'll be 39 in October. This man is not going to fight 4 times in 1 year. He's not trying to fight 3 times in 1 year. He always says it, well, now is the perfect time. Now, more than any other time, you have an excuse. Or just as important as any other time, you have a reason to fight 4 times. You understand what I mean? And if like I said, if he took 2 warm-ups, 2 tune-up fights. And the thing is, he's been taking tune-ups his whole career. So even for him to get to a place of, let's say if he fought Char and beat Char. Let's say if he fought Chisora and beat Chisora. Now, at this point, people start to say, what about Andy Ruiz? You know, what about an F.A. Jogba? What about a Jared Anderson? What about, you know, any of Frank Sanchez? Wilder do not want to fight those guys. And out of all of them, Andy Ruiz is a former champion. So you would think that he would say, yeah, me and Ruiz, yeah. But unless you have the Saudis, okay, someone that's going to say, Wilder, look, man, nobody cares. We don't want to see you fight no damn Charles Martin. We don't want to see these type of fights. You know, I put up a video. I showed you guys Manuel Char, you know, in his prime. He's also 38 years old, 38 or 39 years old. But I showed you guys before, you know, and you guys saw how he got starched. And, you know, Manuel Char, the whole point is this, and this goes to show you how good people know Wilder isn't. Anytime that you think that Manuel Char or Derek Chisora will give him problems, it's because you know he can't box. He's a one-trick pony. It's possible that trick worked against those 2 guys, yeah. But that's why. You can bring up any solid boxer in the heavyweight division, and you will not see Derek Chisora or Manuel Char as being a threat to them. But why Wilder? Because of his limitations. So, therefore, you know, even in that, like I said, if he was to get past Manuel Char, Derek Chisora, and let's just say, like I said, because him and Usyk never fought, people would be saying he's going to win. I'm telling you, it's going to be different when Usyk get hit by Wilder. That all of these things, the same things that they said was going to happen to Joseph Parker, the same thing that they said was going to happen to Tyson Fury, it will be right there with the fingers crossed, hoping that he can land that shot and get them out of here. But bottom line with that, you know, yeah, that's what people are doing. That's when you become complacent. It's not just a confidence thing. Joseph Parker and Wilder, that whole card only happened because of the Saudis. So that being said, and, you know, him saying he's in a way better place now than he was with the PBC. Wilder said that. So he's in a position of, well, if I get on this Saudi card, I got to fight who they say. And if I make a suggestion, they have to like that fight. But depending on how he looks, Because remember, Turkey was the one that said, after seeing Wilder, is like, nah, I want him back on the card, but we want to see him come back and look good. So it might not even be you have to fight first. It might even just be a training thing. And for me, to watch Wilder in training, I don't see how anyone can be impressed by him training, because Wilder looks like crap in every training session I see with him. That weird footwork, them weird body movements that he does, everything is like you don't, you know, you need to see him fight. And so bottom line is, either he takes a tune-up or two, or he lets Turkey know, I'm ready. I need a top-level guy, and he goes in there and wins or loses, one or the other. So what's it going to be? We don't know. But when you become complacent, it gets to a point where your heart is not as solid as it used to be. And in Wilder's case, he's always been able to pick and choose. So let's be real, y'all. And he was given 2-week mandatory challenges when he had his title. So with Fury being able to say, and you notice Fury brings up Wilder's name, that he beat him twice already. So if I beat Usyk, what else do I have to prove? You ain't fought AJ. And the fact that he doesn't want that fight, it's my point. If he doesn't want to fight AJ, then who else should he want to fight? Who else? He had no problem fighting Derek Chisora, who had loss after loss after loss after loss before he fought him. So I mean, big deal. And he already beat Derek Chisora. So what was the purpose of fighting him again? You see what I'm saying? But he had no problem doing that. So once again, y'all, in closing, I say, I believe the heavyweight division doesn't flourish at all with Fury. I think it does flourish with Usyk, because I think Usyk will take the challenges that Fury will turn down. And I believe that in terms of possible opponents for Usyk, I mean, there's several. There's several. And you don't have to be the most popular guy in order for the fight to be good. This is where, when you look at what's happening in the division, and you look at who's been doing what, you look at both guys' body of work, you look at both guys' motivation and who wants to fight, I don't think you go wrong with Usyk unless he changes. I think it goes all the way wrong with Fury, because Fury isn't going to want to fight AJ. And there's no one else, out of his own words, there's nothing else for him to do. You can't base Fury, you can't base you beating AJ based off Usyk beating him. You know, we can go in the history of boxing that one guy beat this guy but lost to this guy. So this guy thought he beat that guy because he beat that guy, then he lost to that same guy. You understand what I mean? You can't go by that at all. So just giving my thoughts on that, and I believe strongly that, you know, the heavyweight division needs Usyk to win. Boxing needs Usyk to win, not Tyson Fury. So my pick is for Usyk to win, for the heavyweight division to flourish, for boxing itself to move forward. And you hope that people will watch these things, especially looking at how Fury is the heavy favorite to win. And should he lose, that can also spark people to think, man, I'm in the same position where people think I'm going to lose to a certain guy. And, you know, people around me, sometimes it takes something to happen to make people see things a different way. You never know. And you can get a certain fighter to step up and do something that maybe he wouldn't have done before. Or the fact that, you know, people can look and say, see, we already handpicked Fury to win, thinking that he had it locked up. Then it turns out, guess what? Usyk was the better man. We could be wrong about other fights in the same thing where we don't put effort to make these fights happen because we think one guy automatically wins. But now, let's put him to the test and let's see. And that's where I wish it was more than just the Saudis, but that's where they come in and make a difference. So we'll see how things go. But my pick is Usyk. Tell me what y'all think. Talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.